Yo, what's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look today, starting a new series as we are getting ready for the 2022-23 NHL season. And this is very difficult for me, but I'm going to go over my divisional standings at the end of next season. So let's think ahead. 82 games into the 2022-23 NHL season. What are the standings going to look like in each division? And today we are starting off in the Eastern Conference in what has been regarded as now the king of the conferences, the king of the divisions in the NHL. That's the Atlantic Division. So the Atlantic Division is kind of interesting. We saw a lot of change in the Atlantic this year. The Buffalo Sabres, they got a little bit better. The Ottawa Senators made a couple of pretty seismic trades. The Montreal Canadiens kind of going backwards. The Detroit Red Wings making leaps in free agency as a part of the Yzer plan. So where do I think things will fall? So we're going to start off at number 8, and that is the Montreal Canadiens. Unfortunately, well, again, it's not really unfortunately even. The Montreal Canadiens are in a rebuild right now. And I think right now they sit 8th because there is so much uncertainty in between the pipes. I think that is their biggest weakness right now. And if I have to sit here today and look at the Montreal Canadiens, there is going to be a lot of younger guys on this team. A team that's just going to be a lot of things just kind of moving on the fly. I do like Marty St. Louis behind the bench, but this is a team in transition. This is going to be a rough year, and considering how good this division is, I think they're just going to fall at the bottom of this division. It's not even that the Habs are that bad. Just the other teams around them have gotten a lot better. Number 7 is the Buffalo Sabres. So the Buffalo Sabres, again, they're not really moving up in the standings in my book. This isn't the year for the Sabres. This is another year of development. And this is kind of what happens when you've been rebuilding for so long, year after year after year after year, that this is where the patience is critical. You have to let the process take its course. They've made the trades. They've made the moves that they've made. They've drafted the guys in the draft. Let things kind of go on course for another year or two. And, the way the window is in this division right now, in another year or two, the Buffalo Sabres will be in that conversation. I do see that coming for them. It's just they have to be more consistent. They did show some glimpses last season that they can do very well. But again, like the Montreal Canadiens, some uncertainty in between the pipes with Craig Anderson and Eric Comrie. I do like Eric Comrie coming in there, but there's still a lot of questions. A lot of young guys will be playing high minutes. Guys like Jack Quinn, JJ Peterka up front. And of course, on the back end, we expect Owen Power to end this season in the top 4. But again, I just don't think the Sabres are ready to make that leap this season. Now, number 6, this one's frustrating probably for Senators fans, but the Ottawa Senators are number 6 in my book. The biggest question with the Ottawa Senators is, how good is their goal? Again, goaltending's a big thing here because I like what they've got up front. I think their offense is really talented. You added Alex DeBrincat, and that really helps the Senators out big time. They also made some moves to bring in guys like Claude Giroux for some veteran leadership. I love that for the Senators. They got a lot better this year. But I have some questions about their back end. I like some of the guys that they've got. They've got some great prospects, but are they ready to take that next step? And that's the biggest question here for the Ottawa Senators, is their depth on the blue line. We know that some of these guys like Shabbat are going to go off. They're very good. But are we going to see the emergence of Eric Branstrom? Are we going to see Artem Zub kind of resume what he did last year? Are we going to see the development of guys like Jacob Bernard-Docker, Lassie Thompson? Are those guys going to become NHL stable defensemen, or are they still another year away and fringe defensemen? That's kind of going to be the big debate here. I like what they did in between the pipes, moving out Murray. I like Cam Talbot coming in. That was a very underrated move for the Senators, and I really like that one. And Anton Forsberg is going to have to continue to do what he's done. The Senators are pretty good, and that's really the difference between them and the two teams lower than them. So they have the better depth, and their goaltending is better, but I just still don't have them in the playoffs. This isn't their year, and I know it's frustrating. Shout out to Ali Desh, my boy. Hashtag yo, but I don't think it's quite yet time in Ottawa. Give it another year. Number 5, Now, this one might shock some people because this is kind of going off the script, and that is the Boston Bruins at number 5. Now, we expect the band to be back together again next season in Boston. We saw a great season in between the pipes. We are going to probably see Krejci potentially return. Patrice Bergeron returning to the Bruins. Nothing's been confirmed, but those are still things that are kind of up in the air at this point. And with so many injuries early in the season for the Bruins and how good this division is, I could see them having problems getting back in the second half of the season. Maybe last year you could have said, all right, we'll just beat up on Ottawa and Buffalo and Montreal at the end of the season and find a way back into the playoffs. It won't be that easy this time around. I think the Bruins are going to have a setback season this year. Again, you have to question the goaltending. As good as they were last year, they were great last year, but they put up some unreal numbers. Can they follow that up again this season? And again, the injuries to start the season, not having Marchand, not having McAvoy, just to start the season for the first couple months, that is troubling. And I think now in a more competitive division, it might be enough for them where the Bruins do end up missing the playoffs. Number 4, this is where we see the shift in this division this year, and I think it's the Red Wings. Steve Yzerman, listen, you cannot bet against Steve Yzerman. I think the Red Wings have made some huge complementary additions. They didn't add a top 6 forward or top 6 center. They didn't add a first line guy to take over Larkin. They didn't add a top 2 number 1 defenseman. They didn't have to do those things. Those things have already been in place, right? You've already got Larkin. You've already got Raymond. You've already got guys like Moritz Seider. You've already got the goaltending. They've really, that's been one of their bigger questions, and that is something that I could end up biting my lip on because of their goaltending. They might miss the playoffs this year. But as long as their goaltending holds up, they added a lot of really good pieces to this team that really are going to put them back on the map. David Perron comes in. Andrew Kopp up front. Those are some great additions. Ben Chiarot, yeah, they overpaid Ben Chiarot. You're not getting any argument from me. He's going to play alongside Moritz Seider, and he's going to be a huge piece of his development. You're going to have Seider, who's going to be able to move the puck, play the puck forward, get some offense, and Chiarot's going to be the stay-at-home guy, kind of the protector, the big brother of Moritz Seider next season. I like that move, and I think the Red Wings get back into the postseason in 2023. So that's really it in the Atlantic. I mean, the rest is kind of the script, right? Tampa Bay at number 3. I think Tampa's still a very good team despite losing some guys like Palat. They've got some really good talent there. Again, McDonough leaves as well, but they've got guys in the wings. Sergachev, Chernak, Calfoot. It doesn't really hurt them that much. Number 2, Toronto. Again, my biggest concern about the Leafs is how good is Matt Murray going to be? Because this is a season that the Leafs could end up falling out of the playoffs. I'm not sold on Matt Murray and Ilya Samsonov. I think Samsonov ends up being the number 1 in Toronto at the end of the season. And when they do make the playoffs, I do have them making the playoffs here. When they end up making the playoffs, I think Samsonov starts game 1 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I almost said the Capitals because I'm not used to that. But Ilya Samsonov was a great addition and is kind of a wild card. But that's where the Leafs are at. With a tight salary cap, this is kind of what they have to do. So we'll see if Kyle Dubas made the right moves. I guess it's only a matter of time. But a lot of criticism up there in Toronto. And again, a lot of it is the goaltending. And of course, at number 1, I think this is kind of self-explanatory. The team that won the President's Trophy, won the Atlantic Division last year, the Florida Panthers. I know things did not end the way they would have liked. But you add Matthew Tkachuk to this team, and that changes the dynamic completely. Matthew Tkachuk is a pain in the butt to play against, and I'm really excited to see what he can do for this team. He's going to add the scoring offense. As long as their goaltending is good with Spencer Knight and Sergei Bobrovsky, the sky is the limit for the Florida Panthers. And despite losing plenty of guys this summer, like Ben Chiarot, who they acquired at the deadline, like losing Weegar and Huberdeau, they made moves that they had to make in a salary cap world. and they have Kachuk that comes in. That is something you cannot discount. And I think that they've got some young guys in the wings that can still play. This is really a big year for the Florida Panthers, and I think they are still at the top of that Atlantic division. So let me know what you guys think down below. What do you think of my predictions here? Let me know down below. I'm pretty confident in the Atlantic division. There's two teams that I'm a little questionable about in Buffalo and in Boston and Toronto. But other than that, I'm pretty confident that this is going to be in some form what we're going to see next year. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.